Hey, what's up guys? Geburah and Quiet here, back again with another video. This video is gonna be on the Kabbalistic sphere of Mars, aka Madim or Geburah, hence the stole that I'm wearing right now for the sake of this video. So yeah, this Kabbalistic sphere video is gonna be on Geburah this time, as I mentioned in the previous video when I released the video of Kether. I said that the next planets that I was gonna do would potentially be Na or Geburah, aka Saturn or Mars. So I simply just went with Mars, for the sake of good measure, and because it's my favorite planet. But I really favor both. Okay, I really favor both heavily. I love the severity of Geburah as well as the darkness of Saturn. In any case, but yeah, Geburah is on top for me. In any case, let's get to it and starting things off. Okay, Mars, from a Kabbalistic perspective, is called or referred to as Geburah. Okay, so the Sephirotic name of the celestial body of Mars in the occult or the Hebrew Kabbalah is called Geburah. In Hebrew in general, it's called Madim. Okay, so in Hebrew in general, the abbreviation or the name of Mars, the entitlement of the planet Mars in English, in Hebrew it's called Madim. But in the Kabbalah, it's referred to as Geburah. And Geburah simply just means severity. That's why it's called differently. Okay, as opposed to on the mundane Hebrew sense, because these planetary alignments or these planetary bodies in the Kabbalah all stand for a specific aspect of life, and Geburah is in the name. It stands for severity. So everything that you see play out in mundane life, okay, in day-to-day life, in the metaphysical plane in general, okay, such as violence, street wars, okay, full-scale wars, okay, on a battlefield, and some fucking, similar to Iraq, and it goes on and on and on, Afghanistan, you name it, okay, Syria, all of that shit, okay. Geburah literally rules and deals with all of that. That is all an aspect of Geburah, okay. It's all an aspect of Madim, of Mars, okay. Suffering, pain, agony, strife, sternness, you name it, everything, all of that falls under Geburah, literally. Aggression, hostility, all of that, everything that's considered bad essentially falls under Mars. It's essentially the destructive aspect of Elohim, aka Father, aka God, okay. That is simply just because all of these spheres are different aspects of God's will essentially, and Mars is simply just the destructive aspect, and the embodiment of God's anguish is literally imbued in my beloved first patron, my main patron, my main Lord, my everything, Lord Samael, and yeah, so it's in his name as well, the poison of God or the venom of God. It can be referred to as both, but in general, it's the poison of God. That's the meaning of Samael's name. Okay, and if you're an occultist, if you're already an ongoing practitioner, then you already know what's up with Mars and Samael as well, aka the ruler of Mars itself, which is Samael. Because in certain circles, okay, individuals are scared of Samael for some reason. There are certain articles that you'll find out there that specifically speak against invoking and working with Samael for some fucking idiotic reason, but yeah, it's just stupid, okay? It's just stupid. Don't pay no mind to that bullshit. It's literally just crap. Uh, certain people are simply just, they just can't handle Mars as a package essentially. So yeah, is what I'm being told. So in any case, yeah, that is pretty much everything on the basic gist or the introduction of Mars as a celestial body. Now, Mars rules over both zodiacal signs or alignments, which is Aries and Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio stands for death, coerciveness, lust, taking the initiative. Okay, and as well as what else? Other stuff that really can't come into mind right now, but once I write an article on all of these fears, once I finish creating a video on every single last one of them, then I'll deliberately write an article on each one, and I'll list literally every single speck of detail in relation to these spheres and all of its characteristics. But in general, that's pretty much what Scorpio deals with, as opposed to Aries. Aries deals with aggression. It deals with destruction. It deals with leadership capabilities. It deals with physical and, to a minor extent, mental fortitude, essentially. Okay, because as well as astral fortitude. Okay, so how much you can handle as an individual, how strong you are. It deals with the alteration of the body physically. Okay, and it goes on and on and on. As well as Aries also deals with war as well. Okay, and yeah, those are pretty much everything. The logistics of Geburah, all of that is what falls under Mars, literally. So yeah, and to a certain extent as well, Scorpio also deals with clairvoyance, but in a destructive fashion. So forceful means of clairvoyance. Okay, forcing upon clairvoyance onto someone in an aggressive way, and you can tell this by working with someone like Azazel. Okay, because Azazel is Martian. He's an infernal Martian angel at that, an infernal fallen angel from Mars, essentially. And if you thought Martian spirits in general were already like a handful to deal with, so to speak, then you haven't met an infernal Martian angel, because these guys are oof. My experience with dealing with Martian angels are essentially, they vary really. I've worked with a lot of Martian angels, okay, and I still do even up to this day. I mean, a lot of guys really, but most of them are a bit more, how do I say this, most of them are a bit more timid and calm, as opposed to the majority are really just hostile and aggressive. Okay, the quickest assumption that I could basically, not assumption, the quickest example that I could come up with in relation to the difference between what a lunar spirit and a Martian spirit is this. Okay, a lunar spirit is like this, hello, you summoned me. Uh, how may I help you? Okay, blah 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 blah. I would like to offer your services to me. Let's get to work. Versus someone like Azazel, okay, or an infernal Martian angel, or a Martian angel in general, okay, a Martian spirit in general. What the hell do you want? Why are you bothering me? Let's get to it right now. We're gonna do this now. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, these guys are really just hostile. They're all in your face, essentially. These guys really just, they don't hold anything back. And yeah, I can see, based off of my extensive experience with dealing with Mars as a whole, literally, okay, whether it be visiting astrally the sphere of Mars, okay, so the fifth sphere of the Sephiroth, because Geburah is the fifth sphere of the tree of life, essentially. And whether it be dealing with Martian spirits, or whether it be dealing with it on an astrological perspective, so astrology, okay, it's all the same ball game. It deals with destruction and aggression and etc., hostility and everything that you can possibly name that's evil, essentially. So yeah, that is pretty much the gist of Mars and what to expect with Martian spirits. So yeah, the reason why I like Mars so much, essentially, is because I am Aries myself, and you know, essentially, in a similar fashion, I am like everything that I just previously mentioned, but everything is more balanced out now. Everything is more balanced, and I'm not so much fiery than how I was before in the past when I first started working with Samayan. Before, I was literally overdosing off of Martian energy to the point where it was really like it was concerning. But now everything is nice and balanced out and whatnot. Okay, everything is nice and balanced, and yeah, that is uh that is pretty much it, really. So now I'm gonna go over one more thing, which has to do with oh yeah, I already mentioned that, really. So Geburah is the fifth sphere of the Sephiroth. Okay, its holy name. I mean, its holy number is 5, and the holy name that rules over this sphere is Elohim Geburah, or Elohim Gibor. Okay, essentially, because in Hebrew, the way you pronounce eyes is not ge, it's e. So instead of saying it, it's e. So instead of saying Elohim Gibor, it's Elohim Gibor. But yeah, in general, you can pronounce it in any way, shape, or form that you like, whatever you prefer. Honestly, I like to say Elohim Geburah. In any case, so yeah, and it is ruled over by my main patron, my main lord Samael, who rules over Mars entirely, and in turn, he also rules over these two zodiacal signs that I just previously mentioned, okay, which is Aries and Scorpio. And my beloved main lord is a Seraphim, so it speaks for itself. He is the perfect ruler and the perfect embodiment of the whole sphere in general. And that is pretty much it, really. So now I'm gonna go over how Geburah looks in the astral plane because it wasn't too long ago when I recently visited it. I visited Geburah in total like 3 times, really, honestly. Yeah, like 3 times. So yeah, in any case, at some point one day, while I was busy just visiting different astral spheres and whatnot, I decided to visit my main lord sphere. Okay, so I decided to visit my main lord Samaya sphere, and I simply told him everything, and I told him to to just meet me once I get there at your sphere, and he told me, okay, I'll be awaiting you. Just give me a call once I'm there, and that is all. So I went ahead and did so. I stepped out of my physical body and everything, and I ended up in Mars. And while I was there, the ground is mostly the ground. Okay, so going off of the ground at first, the ground was everything was essentially dark, so I couldn't really make up the color. And since everything was a bit hazy for me during that time, the first time that I did so, everything looked essentially really dark um, with the skies being really red. Okay, so I'm talking blood red, like everything was literally red. Okay, you can literally feel the tension, the hostility, the aggression once you're in Mars. Literally, it's the embodiment of everything that I previously listed before. Everything is red, and the ground is simply just made up of black dirt, essentially black dirt with certain stones here and there. Okay, so like it's like a rocky slash dirt like soil. Okay, with everything being nice and perfect but black, really dark. And there's certain lakes here and there, but these lakes I never really paid it too much mind. These lakes were black as well. They were just dark. And out in the distance, after I met up with my Lord Samaya, because I saw him just floating in the distance, so I called him up, and he came my way. And one night he was just giving me a tour, and as he was giving me a tour throughout his sphere, he showed me in the distance that there was like this huge army. Okay, this huge freaking army. It was literally legions of men, essentially one side from another, essentially just facing each other, getting ready to battle it out. And yeah, these legions of individuals essentially they looked dead, okay, because they were just skeletons. It was literally just skeletons dressed in armor and on cavalry. You had different. You had cavalry there. Okay, you had infantrymen, hoplite, spearmen, phalanxes. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay, cataphracts, you name it. All of that shit was there, literally. But these guys were dead. They were just skeleton dressed in armor, wearing wielding swords and spears and shields and etc. And at some point, these guys essentially clashed with one another, and it was literally just fucking hell redefined, literally. It's really really intense to see at first, but I simply just got used to it every time I went there. Every time I went there, literally. And I would just watch it and whatnot. It's just beautiful, okay. Mars to me is really gorgeous. It's really beautiful, in a dark fashion, essentially, in a destructive fashion. I mean, I am an Aries myself, so I do favor stuff like that. And yeah, it's just beautiful, really, to see. And it never stops, okay? It never stops. These guys just keep going and going and going and going. And at some point, they'll simply just, everything will just stop. They'll be facing each other once again, and they'll just destroy each other again. It just keeps going. It's like a never ending cycle of destruction and severity and pain, and it goes on and on and on. In any case, and then we simply just continued on with the tour, and he asked me if I wanted to go to a specific layer of Mars, which I forgot what number essentially, but it was one of the deepest layers of Mars essentially. So I agreed, and he took me there. And when we got there, uh, I saw the Grim Reaper there. I saw the Grim Reaper there because the Grim Reaper falls under my Lord Samael. And everything was black. Everything was literally dark, but I could still feel the severe, intense Martian energies radiating throughout the atmosphere while I was there. And I saw the Grim Reaper there, and he showed me that Samaya simply showed me that this is the Grim Reaper's domain. And I saw a huge, big hourglass essentially just there. It was like this really huge freaking hourglass essentially, but I didn't know what that hourglass was in reference to or anything. And the Grim Reaper simply just looked at me, and I simply waved at him. I simply said hi and whatnot because it wasn't the first time that I saw him, but it is the first time me seeing him in his own domain in Mars. So yeah, I simply just greeted him. I said hi, and he simply just waved back at me, and he pulled out an hourglass from his robe, his dark robe, and he simply flashed it at me. He waved it at me, and he said, "This is how much time you have left." And I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, yeah, no, it's okay. I already know what's up." And yeah, essentially, I'm not gonna list that, but yeah, uh, he simply just showed me how much time I have left, and I acknowledged everything, and that was it. Once we finished up with that sphere, with that level of Mars, essentially, then we went back to the surface level, and Sama just simply let me do my thing as I was there. I simply just absorbed everything around me, and oh man, I felt I felt on fire, as well as I felt like this horror, this never ending feeling of impending doom, essentially. Okay, like if something terrible was gonna freaking happen, which is typical because it's the Scorpio aspect of Mars, and the Aries aspect of Mars playing out in front of me, as well as the energies that my Lord Sama irradiate, because he's a perfect embodiment of everything that is in relation to Geburah itself, and that is pretty much it. So once I finished up, I made my way back. I simply I greeted away Samai, or I told him goodbye and etc. And I went back to my room, and he met me there as well. And he simply just asked me how did I find the experience in his sphere, did I enjoy it and etc. And I simply agreed with everything. I really cherish Geburah immensely. I really love Mars. So yeah, after everything, that was it. So yeah, I could practically just finish the video right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and list one more thing as well, just for good measure, because I mean, it's an experience that I had between me and my fourth patron, my cherubim angel Abraza, and since Abraza is Martian, okay, corresponds to Scorpio. Then yeah, it makes sense to go ahead and mention it. Not only that, but the experience that I'm about to tell you is it's like being on Mars essentially, but it's like the Scorpio version of Mars. It's like if Mars was just nothing more than Scorpio. In any case, so yeah, recently, earlier this week essentially, or like a week and a half ago, I asked my Lord Abraza if I can visit his sphere, because Abraza is a high ranking angel, so he has his own sphere, his own personal sphere. Not a Kabbalistic sphere or anything like that, like Madim or Nazak or Chezet or Chokma, and it goes on. No, I mean his own sphere, okay? It's like his astral home, essentially, where he goes to chillax. And and yeah, so I asked him if I can go and visit it, and he told me, yeah, we've been working with each other for quite some time. He deemed me worthy enough to do so, and he gave me permission to visit his sphere. So I told him, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was really grateful to do so. So once we went over everything, I simply just went ahead and I prepared to astral travel to his sphere. Then once I got there, I took a look around, and everything was completely black. Like not dark in a Cliffotic sense, okay? Not dark in a Cliffoth like way where everything is dark as fuck. No. I mean everything is just dark in a negative way, like in a negative constructive fashion. Like the skies were grayish, okay? There were no dirt around, everything was just stone, and it was like the ground was made of obsidian essentially. So obsidian, and it was really pointy. Okay, every time I took a step, I can feel the pointiness under the sole of my feet essentially, because I was astral traveling in the same gear that I had on physically, and I wasn't wearing any shoes. I was just wearing socks. So so yeah, that shit really it took a bit to get used to, but it didn't hinge me too much. Literally, it didn't hinder me in any way, shape, or form. It was just uncomfortable. So yeah, in any case, once I got used to the ground, I Abraza simply just showed me around, and he showed me that his sphere consists of different hostile predators, essentially, whether it be land predators or oceanic predators, essentially marine predators. Okay, and yeah, I told him because we were in the sky at this point while he was giving me a tour, and so I told them, oh, I would like to. Can you drop me off at that lake, Abraza? I would really like to take a dive and see what's in there one night. And he said, okay. And while we're in the air, this guy literally dropped me in the air and let me fall into the lake, literally the ocean or river. It was like a huge river essentially. And I was like, wow, this guy really did that, man. What an asshole. But I was just messing around. I was just messing around. I love my beloved Abraza. We tend to mess around like that. And yeah, he let me fall into the lake. And once I was there, I was simply just swimming around, and he told me just have fun and seek him out once I finish up with viewing his river, essentially his lake. And I was simply just getting a glimpse of everything that was consistent in the ocean, and I saw orca whales or orca dolphins. Orca whales are really dolphins. They're not really whales, obviously. You can fucking search this shit up. But yeah, I saw orca dolphins there. I saw a group of alligators just resting on a stone underwater. I saw different kinds of hostile fishes like piranhas and etc. And it goes on. I even saw a huge ass squid there, really, really big squid, but I didn't pay it any mind. Not only that, but I saw a really big shark, like a really big great white shark, and I fell in love with it immensely. And I was following the shark around, but at some point, when I was getting ready to follow the shark, essentially, Abraza stopped me to tell me something really fast, and I simply acknowledged it, and I continued on to chase after the shark, and I stopped the shark. I caught up to him, and I simply just hopped on his back, literally, to swim me around the river, essentially. And so yeah, so he gave me the shark. I literally just told him to show me around, and it did so. The shark was sentient in a way; it could listen, and it understood what I was saying. But that's due to it being astral, obviously. So it simply gave me a tour around the ocean like lake essentially that I was in, or the small little ocean that I was in. And at some point, it dawned on me that hey, if a great white shark is here, and it's nothing more than oceanic predators that consist within this water, then there has to be a megalodon shark here. There has to be. So I told the great white shark, "Is there a megalodon here? And if so, can you please lead me to it?" And at some point, I saw the great white shark change its direction, its course of where it was going. And I was like, oh boy. When I put two and two together, and I was like, oh boy, if it changes direction, then it's literally leading me towards the megalodon. Okay, let me brace myself for this. And yeah, we got to the megalodon, and I was literally in front of a huge freaking shark. Okay, I'm telling you, the guy was literally like, I can't measure it exactly, but it was a really big shark, and let's just say one of his teeth essentially was like half of my body essentially, or a bit longer than my body. And I'm 5'7" essentially. So yeah, I'm not that tall, but I'm not that short. So yeah, it was around like that length. And the rest of the body of the shark was really, really freaking huge. I'm talking massive and wide. And to the point where it kind of startled me for a second. I had to literally, after like a second, I got used to it, and I was just amazed at what I was seeing. Being at liberty to see something like that. And yeah, once long story short, once I settled down, looking at the shark, I told Abraza, okay, I'm done. So I'm coming up back to you now, and I simply just floated out of the water. I simply just flew back up, and I was back to where Abraza was. And I told them that I think it's time for me to go back one now. But before I do so, could you please show me how you look in full form? Okay, the length of how you actually are and whatnot, to the point in which I can handle, and etc. and everything. So he said, okay, no problem, I'll show you. And he simply just grew in height, and he became way bigger than that freaking shark. He made the shark look literally like a toy essentially. And the guy became really tall to the point where his chest was like going above the clouds, but the clouds were moving. So at some points, in certain instances, I can see his face again. And and yeah, it really just it blew me away because yeah, it's just really beautiful to see. Every time I get to see my guys in that length or that height. And yeah, his sword was really fucking huge. It was a big ass sword, okay? He usually typically always has two swords on him, okay? And when he grew to that length, his swords grew. Everything that he had on him grew, literally. And yeah, at some point, okay, he told me, he looked down on me and he was like, "You're so small from here, Eduardo. I can almost crush you. You look like an ant." And he went to go raise his leg up, literally, like he went to go raise his leg up, and as if he was gonna stomp on me. And I was like, "Oh shit, holy crap, holy crap!" And he was like, "No, I'm just kidding with you. I'm just messing around." And no, that really just floored me. That oh boy, I was really laughing my ass off. But yeah, Abraza, he's like that by nature. Okay, he's a typical cherubim, Scorpio Martian angel. So by nature, he's gonna tease around like that, and the guy is destructive in general. No changing that, which I appreciate. In any case, so yeah, once we finished up with everything, I simply told him that I really enjoyed his fear and that it's time for me to head back. And he told me that he really appreciated the experience because I was the first one to visit his sphere and that no one else has visited his sphere, and and that it was nice to see a mortal like myself essentially roam his sphere. So that was great. It was great. And I thanked him as well, and I told him that you're welcome for everything, and etc. 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 And then I simply just made my way back, and that was all really. That was pretty much it. So and the energy that was there once I got back to my once my astral body came back to my physical body, the immense Scorpio energies that I felt, oh boy, it was off the charts. I'm not kidding, okay? To the point where I literally felt anxious, okay? Because anxiety is an aspect of Scorpio, if you didn't know, on an astrological perspective and an all around perspective. Okay, so I literally felt everything that embodies Scorpio. Not only that, but it felt like a horror movie. Okay, but in a Martian way, not more so in a Saturnian way, but in a Martian way. It felt destructive and it felt scary, quote unquote scary, and it simply just felt like just very destructive in nature. Okay, and it felt like something shot through my core, like something shot through my core, like my core really felt cold. I felt really anxious and whatnot, and it was just I really just I simmered down. Okay, I simply just laid back with my arms like this on my bed, and I simply just chillaxed under the intense Scorpio energies. And I told everything after I finished up with the Braza how much I enjoyed my experience in his sphere, and yeah, it was just beautiful, really. So it's not too far off from Geburah. It's just a more dark, destructive Scorpio. Like how do I say this? Not more destructive, okay? Because Mars is literally an aspect of what Abraza sphere is, but it's just it's just the perfect embodiment of Scorpio, essentially, so to speak. So yeah, that was pretty much it, really. Uh, that was pretty much it. That was all. So yeah, I really enjoyed everything, visiting Geburah as well as my Lord Abraza sphere, and I'm definitely. I told the guys that I'm definitely going to continue to do so because whenever I get bored, I simply just astral travel, literally. My friend knows this as well. Whenever I just get bored, I'm simply just like, okay, I'm gonna astral travel now. So I'll talk to you later or something. And yeah, these spheres I definitely I look to visit consistently and whatnot. And that is pretty much it on Geburah as a whole, or as well as an aspect of Geburah as I shared with Abraza's sphere essentially. And that is it for today, really. So that is all on Geburah and Aries and Scorpio and my Lord Samael, and that is all. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and the next video will be on Saturn, so be nah, because yeah, why not? In any case, that is all. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye bye.